Sharkie Gamer here. So today we're taking a look at the Batman Arkham City Batarang controller for PlayStation 3. This is made by PowerA, and as you can see, it's a Batman themed controller. So this is the front of the box. It says for PS3 wireless Batarang controller. It's got Batman just there. On the side, it's got Batman again. On the other side, it shows Catwoman. On the back of the box, it says, the official Batman Arkham City Batarang wireless controller for PS3. Prepare for battle. The Batarang wireless controller equips you with all the features you need for battle in Arkham City. Features: motion control, dual rumble, rechargeable, wireless, reverse analogs, custom L2, R2, and of course it's got a picture here of the controller, and it says LED on-off button, battery charge indicator, on-off button, rubberized grip. Choose from 7 built-in LED colors to personalize your controller. Includes Batarang wireless controller, 6 feet 1.8 meter USB-K charge cable, USB RF receiver. And it's got other languages just down the bottom there as well. The bottom just has some kind of general information on it. Alright, so let's open this up and take a closer look at this controller. Okay, so first up, you have a bit of a quick start kind of manual here, and it just kind of goes through general starting, how to connect it to console for the first time, what each button does, etc. So it's just like a general quick start manual. Next, of course, you have your mini USB charge cable, and that's just to connect to the PS3 so you can charge your controller. Next is the USB receiver. Now, this is what you need to plug into your PS3 to get to the console to pick up the controller. And what's cool about this is it actually looks Batman themed. They've actually given it a bit of a shape instead of just made this generic kind of square USB receivers that you normally see. So it's kind of cool that they've actually tried to make it a little bit different and make the receiver also Batman themed. So going on to the controller. Now the first thing you'll notice when you actually pick this up and hold it in your hands is that it's got a nice weight to it and it feels like a quality controller. Instantly, it just feels like a nice quality controller. The sides here also have these nice rubber grips on there, so it gives you a bit of texture when you're holding it. And the handles are quite easily contoured and fit in your hands quite nicely. On the back of the controller is actually a little plaque there that just says Batman Arkham City Collector's Edition Wireless Controller for PS3. So moving on to the features of this controller. First off, you've got your analog sticks, and now the first thing you'll notice about these sticks is the fact that they're more like the Xbox layout. So normally PS3 controllers have the 2 sticks here, but this one has actually made it more into the Xbox type of layout and has put the sticks across like that. So if you're a fan of the Xbox controllers and you prefer that layout, then you might prefer this to use on PS3, because it is more like the Xbox and it's got that kind of reverse kind of analog sticks. The sticks themselves feel quite nice, and they've got this nice grip there as well, so it prevents your basically hands from slipping off really easily. They of course also click down really nicely, really nice to use, very accurate, and work on all the type of games. Next thing you've got is your D-pad. Now what I find with the D-pad, even though it works fine and it's kind of responsive, it works, does the job, it is a bit hard. It could have been a little bit more softer, but overall it's not that bad. It could use a little bit of improvement, but it does the job and it is very responsive. Next thing is you got your function buttons, which is your X, circle, square, and triangle. And they feel alright, they're pretty responsive, they're nice to press, they do the job. In the center here you've got an on-off switch for the controller. And moving up, you've got a couple of buttons here. First, of course, you've got a battery indicator button, and what this button does, it'll turn off the indicator on and off for this indicator just here. which basically shows the charge level of the controller. The next button is your select button, then the PlayStation Home, then the start button, and lastly you've got the basically LED switch that actually turns the LEDs on and off and switches between the colors. Next thing here is a channel indicator, and that just shows you the channel where you actually connect to your PS3 in case you've got more than one controller, more than one player. On the top here you've got your actual buttons, and they feel quite nice. They're pretty responsive, they do the job that they need to do. Although I have to admit, if you've basically seen this and you've seen that there's actually an Xbox 360 version also available, I will be also doing a review of the 360 version, so check that out when it's up. But with the 360 button, the actual 360 control, the buttons feel a bit better up here. They just feel a bit more responsive, a bit more easier to press down. Next thing, of course, is the triggers. Now you can see that shape there, they're nicely contoured, they look like nice triggers, and they feel really nice to actually when you actually pull them down. They're not easy to slip off, so it's really nice to hold down and play, and you can play shooters, you can play any type of game, whatever the game requires. And actually in comparison to the 360 version, I actually like these triggers on this PS3 version better. Just because they got that nice contoured shape and they're a little bit wider and they just feel a lot better. On the back here, of course, you've got your connection here, and that's where you plug your charge cable so you can actually charge it up when the battery gets flat. And of course, the next thing is the LEDs. You'll notice here there is some white bits on the sides, and that's basically your LED function. Now I'll just plug it into the charge cable here because the battery doesn't have any charge in it at the moment. So I'm just going to plug it in so I can show you the LEDs. Alright, so you turn the controller on, which is just down there. Now that will flash at the moment, that's just because I don't have the receiver plugged into my PS3 at the moment. I've just got the charge cable, so it's probably going to flash like that for a little while. Alright, so to show you the LEDs, basically, you just press that button just at the end there, and it turns it on. So this is the first color, and you can see it lights up both grips, and it also lights this top area up here. Now again, comparing this to the 360 version, the 360 version actually lights up these buttons as well, while the PS3 version doesn't. So this version does not have illuminated buttons, which is a bit of a shame because it doesn't let you help you see those buttons in a dark room, while the 360 version actually does light up these function buttons. Another thing is, if you don't like this top lighter here, the 360 version actually has a lot less lighting up here, and the PS3 version seems to have more lighting up there. Alright, so there's not just the one color, there are multiple colors here. So if you just press this again, the first one of course is yellow, then the next one is blue, the next one is sort of like a pinky, maybe purpley kind of pink color. Next one is red. Next one is green. Next one is sort of like a light blue. And the next one is sort of like a white color. And of course you can turn it off if you don't like that feature. Now the LEDs do look pretty cool. They do give it a bit of a styling look. I'll just try to show it a bit in the dark so you can see. Now I do still think that on the PS3 version it is a bit of a shame that they don't have these buttons illuminated, because it would be pretty cool if those would light up. Because in a dark room it may look cool, but it doesn't really help you see any of the functions of the actual controller. And here you can see the battery indicator is lighting up because it's actually charging the controller at the moment. And I don't know if you can make that out, but next to each LED square there's actually a number. It says 25, 50, 75, and 100. So it gives you a good idea of how much your battery is charged. And of course it will need a bit of charge when it goes dead flat. But the good thing is you can just plug this in and charge and keep playing because it is wireless and it will charge while you play. And of course, a nice battery saving feature is this on and off switch, so when you're done with the controller, you just turn it off, and that way it saves your battery from draining when you're not using it. But overall, it's a really good quality controller. It works well, it's a good build quality, all the functions work very well. The only real downside, like I mentioned before, is the fact that these buttons here don't light up. The Xbox 360 version lights up, but this one doesn't. I don't know why they didn't do it for this one as well, because it would have been a pretty cool feature so that you can play with it in the dark and just make it that little bit easier to see where the buttons are. And another reason why this is a good quality controller for not only shooters or anything like that, but any type of game, is of course the price. The price at the moment is, I think, it's about $20 or $30 for these, just like the Xbox 360 version. When they came out, they were about $50 or $60. So they were quite expensive when they came out, but now they're such a good price that even if you're not a Batman fan, then this controller is a good buy. If you're a Batman fan or collector or anything, then of course you should have this in your collection. It is a cool Batman-themed collectible. But even if you're not a fan and you're thinking about you just want a decent controller, then I would easily recommend this one as a really good quality controller that will do the job. All the functions work really nicely. All the buttons are really nice. It's a really nice feeling controller. Everything works well, and of course it's got that cool LED feature. Another cool feature of this one, and it's the same with the Xbox 360 version, is the fact that it not only works with PS3, but it also works with PC. So I plugged this into my PC, it picked it up straight away and connected, and that's wirelessly. So it works wirelessly fine with the PC, it just plug and play and install the driver. Now I did try it on Windows 7, and I would say it would do the same thing for Windows 8, it'll probably just be plug and play, but any older Windows system, it might need additional drivers. But overall, it worked well, and of course that dual platform is a plus. The fact that you can use it on PS3 as well as PC is it's a nice feature, nice extra feature they've added. So yeah, overall, so if you're thinking of whether you want to get this version or you want to get the 360 version, both versions aren't that different. Like I said, the PS3 version is wireless. And the biggest difference, next thing, is of course these buttons don't illuminate on the PS3 version, but on the Xbox version they do illuminate. And of course the Xbox version is cabled. So really between the two versions, all you're really asking yourself whether you want to play on PS3 or Xbox, and whether you want it wireless or you want it cabled. And of course that illumination is another question that you could ask yourself, whether you want those buttons illuminated or it doesn't bother you. But overall, it's a very good controller, highly recommend it. It's a really good price now as well, so anyone that's looking for a decent controller, then absolutely this might be the controller for you. Now this is the PS3 version, and I will have a video up very shortly of the Xbox 360 version, so you can see firsthand exactly what the 360 version looks like, and that way it'll help you decide if you would like to go for one of these controllers. But anyway guys, thanks for watching. That's about all I can say about this one. I'm Sharkie Gamer. Don't forget to subscribe. I'll have heaps more controller and accessory videos up very shortly. Feel free to leave a comment down below if you would like to. And if you like this video, then hit that like button. It really helps me out a lot, guys. And thanks for watching.